up.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. How pathetic can some people be?
Christmas has gotten out of control. But when I was a kid, I wanted to celebrate it. But I couldn't because I'm Jewish. But when you compare Christmas to Hanukkah, there's no comparison. Christmas is great. Hanukkah sucks. How do we celebrate Hanukkah? We celebrate it with candles. Little tiny pissant candles. You Christians, on Christmas, Santa comes and he brings a ton of stuff. It's unbelievable. It's extraordinary. I go next door to see my best Christian pals. I'll never forget it. And the whole house is filled with boxes. It's like a warehouse. And out back, there's 6 ponies. 6! We were going to buy Princess 1, but we loved all of them. Merry Christmas. People believe that Hanukkah is celebrated for 8 days. And that's a liar, liar, pants on fire situation. Most Jewish families don't make it past the 4th day. It doesn't happen. Come on, are we going to light the lights? No, enough's enough. First night you get socks, second night an eraser, a notebook. It's a back-to-school holiday.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOZ.
Oh, they weren't very forgiving on Christmas Day in Louisiana. Renee Whidden was pulled over. She was under arrest for driving with a suspended license and a probation violation warrant, and she wasn't going to have any of it. When she was pulled over and taken or asked to be, get out of the car.
Ma'am, step out of the car.
Yeah. She looks at the officer and says, "No, it's Christmas," and turns and runs away from Deputy Timothy Fisher.
Like drives away or gets out of her car and runs?
Runs away. But this is where the kicker. This happened at 4:35 in the morning on Christmas morning.
Oh.
She had a very brief getaway because as she turned to run away, she ran into a parking lot sign and fell to the ground. Bunk.
Talk about an Adam Sandler movie.
On this great day that she celebrates as get out of jail free card day.
Hashtag Chris Farley moment.
She was handcuffed and transported to the jail as she lay there on the ground after having just ran into the sign.
Plus, that had to not feel good.
Well, she was booked on several charges, including methamphetamine possession and resisting an officer, which, I mean, come on. The officer, they should drop that charge, okay? I mean, that made that officer's day, okay? Look, she goes to run away, and she promptly runs into a parking lot sign and falls to the ground. I mean, it was probably easier than asking her to just turn around, handcuff her.
Don't you miss live PD now?
No fight when you run directly into the sign.
PD cam. Miss all of them. We used to be able to watch stuff like this happen.
Should have spent Christmas behind bars.
Now we just have to hear about it. But hey, maybe it makes this segment a little bit more popular.
Hopefully,
dumbass of the day.
This rock bottom will help out her. Oh yeah, on Christmas I ran into a parking lot sign after having methamphetamines on me and resisting an officer.
At least you didn't blow up an RV in, a very populated city downtown. You did hear about that, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay.
Why would you bring that up in this segment?
No, it's because it happened on Christmas Day as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, just that person.
And not very far from each other.
What do you mean? Louisiana and Tennessee?
Louisiana and Nashville, yeah. Not that far.
Pretty far. I mean,
it's not like California far. It's more in the area. What, you want me to map it?
You're trying hard to draw a correlation here? I don't get it. Like, why would you even bring that up?
How long would it take to drive from Nashville, Tennessee to Louisiana?
Well, Louisiana's a full state, so it would take... there's many answers that she could give you.
Oh, it's an 8-hour drive. So you're right.
I guess this happened in Monroe, Louisiana, if you want to really Google map that.
Oh, the very
for
trashy area.
Renee Whitten, congratulations. You're Jeff and Jeremy's
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KZOC.
Don't be a dummy when it comes to your landscape supplies. Go to Peterson U-Cart on Gusta Road, just north of Quickie Car Wash in Atascadero.
We load, you cart, you save.
So we just saw on the news this week that there's some new laws that are going to be going into effect as of January 1. The one that I guess that caught my attention was the cell phone law. I don't know if you guys were watching the news, if you saw.
That's still a thing. We're not supposed to use our cell phones when we drive, right?
Yeah, but now you get a point. And a point on your driver's license, which is a bad thing, even though Cameron was trying to tell me it was a good thing.
It is a good thing. Get as many as possible.
Well, yeah. Any game I've ever played in life, you want to get the most points.
You and I have been driving in California longer than Cameron has, even though he grew up here, but we don't know enough about the system. I just know you're not supposed to get points. I guess, luckily, I've only gotten one speeding ticket since I moved here in 15 years.
Did you get any points?
I don't think so, because I went to traffic school.
What is a point? What I don't understand.
Explain how it works, Cameron. You took driver's ed
for
here.
Like every traffic infraction or whatever, you get a point, like a half a point, and then if you get enough points, then they take your license away.
Ah,
how long does a point stay on for?
I think like year or two.
Okay,
I'm not actually sure about that.
It'll go away if okay. See, I know that when I got you've gotten a ticket before, Jeff, right?
Yeah, I was speeding.
Yeah, okay, we both got a speeding ticket. So, I mean...
but I went to traffic school.
And I think that you don't get a point. I remember that was the whole point of, taking the time, spending it.
Yeah, paying that stupid online thing.
Traffic school's so dumb because I had my laptop open and I had my phone and I just Googled every question and I got the answers right.
Well, I bet you became educated, though, through the process. Well, you had to read the answers. I had to read
the questions and read the answers. So it was like doing homework, really.
I mean, I think that's how they view it as an open book test. Yeah. They're like, you know what? You're learning the
Hopefully you'll take something
as
away
long
from
as you
this.
can take the test.
Even though you're supposed to read and...
So you can have a point on your record as a result of distracted driving with cell phones. That will take effect on July 1st. 2021.
Oh, so not till all the way till July.
But it's already on the books. So if they wanted to enforce it, I guess, but it'll go into effect on July 1st. And if you'll receive a point on your driving record if you were previously convicted of the same thing within the last 36 months. So the first time you won't, and then if you do it the second time over the course of 3 years, then you'll get a point on your record. Is 1 point a bad situation? I mean, is that going to really cause havoc on your life, Cameron, that you know of? Like, how many points?
Or if you don't know, that's fine.
How many points until you lose your license?
I think it's 3. Let's do a quick Google.
Wow.
I don't think it'll ruin your life. I mean, yeah, I think it's just like you get your license taken
still
away for
have not abandoned this methodology that they need to be holding onto their phone while they're driving.
I don't understand it. I mean, everybody's got Bluetooth now, right? There's always a way to Bluetooth in. I mean, I realize I drive a vehicle that has it built into the stereo.
Yeah, but
so do you. But there's devices you can buy.
My thing is, I think the actual conversation is just as distracting as holding a phone up to your head.
Yeah. Here's what Google says about 1 point. 1 point is unlikely to affect your driver's insurance costs.
Okay.
If it's the only point on the driving record, 1 point is assigned for a minor violation like driving with a broken taillight or an expired license, which insurance companies might not even hear about. Okay, what about 2 points?
Oh yeah, I looked it up. It's if you get 4 points in within a 12-month period, you get your license suspended.
Wow.
You get 6 in 2 years, license suspended. If you get 8 in 3, license suspended.
Mm-hmm. And the best way to get points off your record is to go and take traffic school, like we talked about, and just do it and get it over with. But it costs money.
I just don't. I mean, I think in some instances, having a conversation, because you don't know the context of the conversation, having the conversation could be just as distracting as holding it up to your head. You know,
What, driving down the road talking to somebody?
Yes. Like, I've followed people before on the road, and they're
I don't think it bothers me.
They go cruising by me because nobody can let a minivan pass them. So they'll go cruising by me, and then they'll slow way down to like 60 miles an hour. I'm like, what's wrong with this person? Why are they slowing down to 60 miles an hour? And they're talking to themselves in their car, and I'm like, oh, they're having a conversation. Well, they're clearly distracted. If then they come speeding up past me again later on.
See, I use cruise control, so that doesn't happen. So now I'm not controlling the speed. I'm just controlling the steering wheel. And I'm controlling the conversation. Because that's the most important part.
The conversation?
Yes.
Not the driving?
Not the driving.
Okay.
The conversation.
Dominating.
And
the
this is the problem. And this is the problem with...
And that's why I drive a big truck. People get out of my way.
People with the Bluetooth.
Big
I mean,
truck,
it's
conversation, cruise
the
control.
point I'm getting at is I think it's
Win.
a false sense of security. Is using the Bluetooth. It's
So
a
what do you
false
want
sense of security.
we would ban it? But what about people that talk to
I
themselves?
would
They're
love
just
that.
going to get pulled over for talking to themselves? I talk to myself all the time.
No, you prove to yourself that you're that you got issues and that you like to have conversations.
Is it going to be
with
illegal
yourself.
to talk to yourself in the car? Like, oh yeah, when you think out loud, like things you're going to do later?
Because then you
Well, it's
can
the same
prove-
thing.
you can
You're
prove
still thinking
by
about something else while you're
cell phone
driving.
Records. You could prove by cell phone records. Listen, if we're going to start firing guys for going to a party without wearing a paper mask on their face,
How about we just get out of people's lives?
Let's go full Big Brother on this, okay? Access the cell phone records, and if you're talking to yourself while your cell phone was working, then you get a point. You just said it. You just said
No,
it.
well, let me
You
finish.
just said
Let me
it.
finish.
You just said it.
You know, what did I say? The bread, the roll. The roll.
The bakery company known as King's Hawaiian Sweet Rolls is
Yeah.
getting sued. Why are they getting
My
sued?
favorite thing to do is make turkey sliders with them. But anyways, go ahead.
So they're getting sued by a guy in New York right now, and it's a class action lawsuit that is over the authenticity of the product. He claims that they can't be called Hawaiian rolls because they're not made in Hawaii.
Well,
Okay.
maybe, was the original recipe from Hawaii, though? There's got to be some tie, right? Why would they be called Hawaiian rolls?
This happens with a lot of things.
I'm going to look it up.
There is, okay, so this has happened twice that I know of. There are these chips that are called Hawaiian barbecue chips or something like that. They're excellent. They're so good. They're so good. Okay. They have a sweet onion flavor. They have a tangy barbecue flavor. And then they have what's the one you like? The habanero chili flavor? Or what is it?
Are you talking about the Tim's Cascade?
They're not Tim's Cascade. They're called Hawaiian something potato chips.
Yeah, no, but if you look on the back, it's made by Tim's.
Yes.
Somewhere in Washington State.
It is made in Algona, Washington.
Algona,
okay?
that's right.
It is not made in Hawaii whatsoever.
Maui
Yet-
onion is what they call the recipe that you're thinking of, right?
Well, no, there's a few different ones.
But I like the Tim's Cascade jalapeno. But I did just get a mango habanero.
Okay, so they have
It's okay.
They have a sweet Maui onion, an original flavor. They're called Hawaiian kettle style potato chips. Is the style enough to get them to let them off the hook on that? They have a luau barbecue, which is sweet and spicy. Which the luau barbecue is the best flavor of the potato chip.
No.
But it's Hawaiian kettle style potato chips. Nothing about these potato chips.
Yeah.
Comes from the islands whatsoever. They come from Washington State in an industrial area right outside of Seattle.
Well, maybe it's the flavor. Well, go ahead, Cameron.
Well, these rolls also are being made in California, in I think like Torrance or something.
Yeah.
Well, it says here.
because they're made in California.
I looked
they
it up.
Can't be called Hawaiian.
King's Hawaiian is made in Los Angeles. It's a Los Angeles-based family-owned bakery known for their Hawaiian bread. The company was founded by Robert.
Try it. Just try it. Just try it. Sound it phonetically.
Tyra? I don't know.
Spell
From
it out.
Hilo, Hawaii.
Spell it out.
Taira.
Okay.
Tara?
Tyra.
Tyra,
sure.
Tyra. Is it Hilo?
And he's from Hilo?
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
Hilo, Hilo?
He's
He's from Hilo, yeah. He founded his bakery company in the 50s and that's where the recipe came from. And then moved to Honolulu and changed its name to King's Hawaiian. The company then expanded to the mainland, and that's where they make most of their bread now.
Okay,
in
so
Torrance.
I think they have no merit for this lawsuit.
And this
because
sounds totally legit.
the recipe is rooted in Hawaiian roots. Now,
Wait a second. Do you have an issue with this, Cameron?
Do I? No, I totally agree. I think it's just a dude trying to get some money out of a bread company.
Okay.
And not just a bread company, but our boys, Aldi, are also getting sued.
Yeah. So they have a knockoff. Aldi should get sued left and right. As much as I love Aldi,
The Germans.
No.
Isn't that a German store?
No, do you remember years ago they came out with cheese brands that they ripped off
Yes,
artists,
Aldi's, and they got sued.
a lot of our artists with the cheese
What was
brand
Guns
name.
N' Roses? It was they had Sweet Cheddar of Mine or Sweet Swiss of Mine or something like that. Yeah.
Sweet cheddar of mine, I think it was.
Yeah, they just called it Sweet Cheddar of Mine or something.
Pour some Gouda on me.
Pour
was
some Gouda on me.
Was another one. It was a Gouda. And they were excellent cheeses.
Yes. They were very good.
You went and bought them, and they taste really good. But if you walk through Aldi's, it is astonishing. The blatant ripoffs that they do with their brands. Like, they have one that's called Raisin Bran, and it looks just like, is it General Mills or Kellogg's?
Kellogg's, I believe.
Kellogg. Whoever makes Raisin Bran, the real one, it looks exactly like the Raisin Bran. It's just a different manufacturer.
Does it say Raisin Bran? I mean,
It says
same name, spelling,
Raisin Bran.
everything?
It says Raisin Bran.
Wow.
Same thing.
That's
But
gutsy.
but
it's from Germany, so it's okay? Is that the deal?
I don't know. It
Is
is
it a
that way
German-made
with
food?
hundreds of the products that they carry there. Like, hundreds of them. And it's like, everybody's like, all right, whatever. That's like Ruffles. Whatever. I'll get it. You know, it's the strangest thing. So Aldi's has a Hawaiian roll that they call Hawaiian roll. And it's the same recipe as the King's Hawaiian bread. And I've had it, and it tastes fine. It tastes exactly. You would not be able to tell the difference.
Is it cheaper or something? Why would you
it's
even buy
cheaper
it?
because they make it. They're the ones making
I didn't know this, but Arby's. God, I love Arby's. How could we not have an Arby's in San Luis Obispo? Is there one in North County?
Nope.
What
I
the
think
hell,
there's,
man? I'm going to quit this job and I'm going to open an Arby's.
Isn't
Arby's
the
would
closest
kill
one
it.
to, like, Santa Maria?
Yeah, Santa Maria. You got to go all the way down to almost Orchid. I mean, you get way down there by the Coles. Trust me, sometimes I just drive from AG to get an Arby's, extra large, half pound, whatever the hell the thing's called. Used to be called a Big
Don't
Montana.
open it in San Luis Obispo, whatever you do.
No, it won't be here because there's no drive-thrus. But Arby's says King's roll their buns, and they make a sandwich with Grey Poupon and roast beef and Swiss cheese with a honey Dijon mustard. Ooh,
That's a good mix.
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah,
pretty
actually,
good.
that's a good point. Like, what's this dude gonna do when he finds out about, like, Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, does he think Hawaiian pizza's made out of Hawaiian people?
Not only will the bread fall, everything will fall. The Hawaiian pizza will fall because the Hawaiian pizza is not a Hawaiian pizza. I don't believe.
What
that
makes it
the
a Hawaiian pizza? The pineapple?
Yeah.
Is pineapple from Hawaii?
That
Is that the deal?
reason why they call it a Hawaiian pizza. is
I
because
thought
it's got pineapple on it.
Pineapple's from
I'm
Hawaii.
I'm
Yes.
assuming it's that and the pork, because pork's pretty big over in Asia.
In
Oh,
Asia.
yeah, and in Hawaii, too. Well, the Pacific Islanders.
Yeah, Pacific Island, yeah.
But the potato chips will have to take a fall because they're definitely not from Hawaii. They're not. The recipe for the spices might be, I don't know, but the potato chips have nothing to do with
Well,
Hawaii.
that's like saying you can't sell anything that says Texas barbecue on it. I mean, everybody sells some sort of barbecue sauce that Kraft makes with Texas barbecue. It's like a certain kind of brand because the Texans make their barbecue a little bit different
and this
than the
goes
rest
back
of us.
to the Dwayne Haskins thing.
Some use vinegar, some use, I don't know what
We've
the other
reached a
ingredient
point in
is.
society where we need to find reasons to bitch at each other for what other people are doing. I'm going to stop doing things. I'm just going to stop doing things. Yesterday, I'm surprised somebody didn't call the ASPCA on me because I put a cat in a cage for 10 hours and drove it 600 miles.
Well, you didn't quite say it like that yesterday. Now, today.
Now I've given somebody the idea. I'm sure the ASPCA will be giving me a call.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.